What is a life hack that seems fake, but is a true lifesaver? If your ring gets stuck on your finger, Windex will slide it right off. Worked at a jewelry store for 5+ years. You can also use any oil, cooking, automotive, anything. You can also reduce the size of your hand and finger by holding it up in the air. Chilling your hand in cold water, then holding it up in the air for a couple minutes whilst rubbing oil and slash or dishwashing fluids in there. Trifecta of ring removal. Should work on anyone that just stole Soren's prize, though biting it off also works, I suppose. So, oils can work too, but Windex has the advantage of still giving you a little grip on the ring as you push it off and not leaving hard to clean and flammable residue behind. Dishwashing fluid also can contain abrasives depending on the brand that can harm softer stones. Windex has all the benefits and none of the problems. Please do not hand your jeweler a saliva covered ring. There is a non-zero number of saliva covered ring memories I would like to never relive from a decade in jewelry repair. By the way guys, if you are enjoying this video so far, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It will help us out quite a bit, and if you don't enjoy the videos in the future anymore, you can always unsubscribe. Let's get back to the video. Use shaving cream as anti-fog. I used it on the inside of my motorcycle visor. Smear it on, let it dry, then rinse off and dry. It also works for bathroom mirrors. You can use it on a small spot, so you can still see when you get out of the shower. Shaving cream also removes the smell of urine. If you ever have to take care of someone who is old and or sick and who wets the bed, a little shaving cream on a rag wiped over their buttocks after they are thoroughly cleaned up helps them really smell clean again. It's a bit of a sad tip, I know, but you never know when you might end up caring for someone who needs help with things like this. Nobody wants to smell. A dab of shaving cream to restore a bit of dignity? Priceless. Work in adult/senior care and this advice is invaluable. Thank you so much. I can help make my clients' lives all the better with this. Worked in nursing homes for years and use the shaving cream trick. Stinky? On them and a dab under my nose. Poop, pee. It has a stronger odor. At least the cheap kind they kept stocked in supplies. I saw a comment on one of these kinda threads that recommended gently rocking back and forth while pooping. I've never had any problems in the bathroom, but I happened to be sitting on the toilet when I read the comment, so I decided to give it a test drive. I was pleasantly surprised at how quick and effortless the whole experience was, and I haven't gone back to my old stationary technique since. As a bonus, #1 and #2 now require the same amount of time in the bathroom. If you're super pregnant or just have a huge beer belly, side to side works too. Only way I could poop with all the smooth muscle relaxation going on during pregnancy. Okay, I don't know if you'll see this or have the wherewithal to respond, but it's 6:30 AM where I am, and I've been up since around 4 with some constipation. Mostly just browsing around Reddit. I'm not even subbed here. I've been browsing so long I hopped over to Popular to change things up. I have work today. I just got promoted and we are right smack dab in the middle of a 2-week crunch. I can't even remember if I've ever been constipated in my entire life, so maybe it's stress? But I've been in a mild panic for the last few hours because I'm in a lot of discomfort and haven't gotten a lot of sleep, and I simply don't have time for this to be a symptom of a more serious issue. I've been getting up, moving around, trying different stretches and positions to loosen things up, but all I've been feeling is tension and a lack of relief. Rocking back and forth on the toilet for just the last 5 to 10 minutes has already totally relieved the discomfort and tension I've been feeling. I haven't jostled anything out yet, but I hope I've at least got the operation moving again. I'm comfortable enough to where I can probably go get a couple more hours of sleep and try again before I go to work. Thank you. True lifesaver. If you are ever attacked by a dog, push your forearm into the bite. This pries the jaws apart and prevents them from clamping down. If a dog is attacking you, the best thing you can do is offer your forearm, push as far back as possible, and then grab the dog by the scruff of its neck with your other hand to hold it. The dog is now functionally muzzled, and you have control of its head. The sooner and harder you push into the bite, the less damage the bite will do. This is a good rule for human bites too, just so you know. Push in, don't pull. I read this in an encyclopedia, works for anacondas too, and, since their teeth are curved inwards, pulling out will only do more damage, although I'm sure anyone close enough to anacondas to be affected by their bites won't already know this. If an anaconda is biting you, you shouldn't be worried about the teeth. They are constrictors, and under those scales is a tube of organs and a lot of muscle. They won't really be able to eat you, but they can constrict you to death. Every time you exhale they will tighten their coils until your diaphragm isn't able to expand. I have no clue what you should actually do to fight back other than try to keep your arms free and do damage to its eyes if you can. Eating candied ginger helps with nausea. Any ginger really, but candied ginger is much better tasting. Edit, I see this really got people talking. Glad to see other remedies are helping and the community giving each other tips. Thanks for the award, and be excellent to each other. Second edit, chronic nausea is a different animal and I hope those suffering with it get medical help. Ginger isn't a cure for all nausea, and lots of things can cause it, such as vertigo, which is an obnoxious thing to have, and ginger won't help. I have that, and it's no fun. I use ginger for migraine nausea myself, which I also get. Ginger is powerful too. I get motion sick very easily. We went to a roller coaster park, and I took some very powerful anti-nausea meds. Helped, but still not enough. Started popping ginger candies all day, and was able to ride the craziest stuff that, before made me lose my lunch. My wife had great relief with morning sickness popping raspberry ginger candies. Highly recommended. Yes. When I was pregnant, ginger candies were the only things that gave me relief from my morning, all day, sickness. Mint works too. That's why restaurants often have after dinner mints. It helps the discomfort when you eat too much. Also, tea made from ginger and mint is fantastic if you are sick and having trouble eating. Rubbing vegetable oil or any cooking oil on your hands after you cut up jalapenos or other hot peppers. It gets rid of the awfulness that would normally be left on your hands from the peppers. I rub my hands with oil and then wash it off with dish soap. I can totally remove my contacts after doing this. It's crazy how well this works. Kind of works. I learned the very hard way, at the expense of a pair of 2 weak contacts. This does not work all the time. Honestly, I just saved myself a lot of grief and got a box of disposable gloves from Costco. I need them for airbrushing anyways, and I'm careful to only touch the pepper with the glove hand. Same. I've never understood why I can eat insanely spicy things with pleasure, and yet even chopping up a blano or anahim can leave my fingers burning for hours. I have a serious thing against disposable items in my home, but I always have a box of latex gloves under the sink to chop peppers. It's just not worth a repeat of the time I was cutting bird's eyes and touched you know what after. Oh my gosh, I make fermented hot sauces for myself and a few friends, small batches, and I have a story. I saw a bunch of bird's eye chilies at the Asian market and was inspired, but for whatever reason I decided that I wanted to stem and deseed these buggers. Sometimes monotonous tasks relax me, and I guess I was having a bad day. Well, let me tell you, it was about to get worse. This sauce was going to be called sauce 118 because I counted, saved a stem every 10, and there were 118 of those suckers that I individually split and knocked the seeds out of. It must have taken me an hour. At that point, the capsaicin had soaked so deep into my skin that I couldn't wash it out. I had to toot myself with pain. I got my hands so clean with a scrub your hands with vegetable oil and then dish soap trick that I was able to take out my contacts that night with no adverse effects, but my left hand, my non-knife hand, burned for the better half of a week. The worst part was that applying light pressure caused a rising heat sensation. For example, I sleep with my hands under my pillow. Doing that made my hand feel slowly warmer and warmer until the pain was literally excruciating. It was the only time anything like that has ever happened to me. Over the next couple days it faded more and more until I stopped noticing. I used to only wear gloves when I was dealing with the baddies, ghosts, and scorpions and reapers and such. Now I wear them with everything. If you have funky armpits and need to fix them fast, use hand sanitizer. I figured this out years ago when I remembered that the smell comes from bacteria reactions, which antibacterial hand gel kills stone dead. Instant results and the medical smell lasts only a minute. Don't do this routinely though, as it's delicate skin and may hurt like hell if you've shaved them and have any nicks. Shaved pits just don't smell as much. Absolutely untrue. Trimmed maybe, but if I shave my armpits they sweat so much more and they are way more airtight, making the smelly anaerobic bacteria prevalent. Armpit and public hair do a good job of letting the skin below them get air. But I know for my body the hair also acts like a sponge for BO. At the end of the day everyone should do what makes them comfortable with their body. Shaving is best for me, but trimming/leaving hair is best for others. Vinegar in a plastic bag with rubber band tied around any faucet will make the faucet like new. I'm talking decade-old rust and stuff gone, and water flows like the first day. Edit also works on showerhead. You can unscrew those and leave them in a bowl full of vinegar. Vinegar is great for calcium and rust buildup, and it's not toxic. It doesn't work as fast on rust as some of the harsh chemicals available, but it gets the job done safely. It also does a great job of mixed 50/50 cleaning glass if used in conjunction with newspaper. As a weird aside, and keeping with the post, molasses is also a good deep penetrating, albeit time consuming, rust remover. It's helped me restore some delicate old hand tools. Soak newspaper in vinegar and stick to shower door. Mine is filthy with calcium or soap scum or something. I have one of those dish brushes that you can fill with soap. I filled it 50/50 with Dawn dish soap and white vinegar, and I leave it in my shower to clean once a week. I don't have shower doors, but I'm sure it would work. I hate cleaning my shower, so giving it a scrub while my conditioner sits is a win/win. The cheapest, most effective, and safest insecticide against roaches, especially those huge water bug roaches that we have in the south, is a spray bottle of mostly water with just a little liquid dish soap in it. Shake the bottle and get the water a little foamy, then spray the roaches. They will run, scrabble, and attempt escape, of course, but they will die. The soap film suffocates them faster than any chemicals will. A friend told me about this, and I thought she was nuts, but I tried it and it works amazingly well. Plus it's very easy to clean up and safe around food. Not that you want to spray soapy water on your food. You can also use this on wasp nests, especially if sprayed on them right before dawn, since they are not very active. That way they'll be squeaky clean when they return back to their overlord, Satan. I had to get rid of massive wasp hive on our roof, so in the middle of summer I got in a ton of snow gear to cover every inch of myself and got some spray bottles with water and soap. They didn't even get close to me, it worked so well. Run your wrists under cold water or rub an ice cube on your pulse points to cool down all over quickly when you get overheated. It seems obvious, but I didn't realize it until last summer working in a warehouse with NOAC. Also something I learned in the army: on extremely hot days on the range, if you need to cool yourself immediately, dunk your arms about halfway between your elbow and shoulder in ice water. Probably will need a bucket or cooler for about 20 to 30 seconds. Then lift your arms over your head straight up, and you'll literally feel your body completely cool from top to bottom as it moves down. If you're working outside and it's very hot, just have it ready just in case. It's required by the army once it gets hot enough to have sheets in ice water to cool anyone that becomes a heat casualty, so it makes sense if you're out mowing your yard or doing work when it's hot. During pollen season, rinse your hair before bed. Otherwise you're just depositing pollen on your pillowcase every night and then rolling your face in it all night. And then multiply that by how many nights you use the same pillowcase. You're a genius. 4 out of the 5 people in my family have super bad allergies. I mean, like, the allergy tests came back with pages of stuff we're allergic to and long hair. I usually just change my pillow cover every other day during spring, but I'll try this tonight. My friends always said I was weird because I prefer showering at night over showering in the morning. I love crawling into bed and feeling all clean and soft, and I have just always felt like I sleep better after a good hot shower. I have terrible hay fever allergies and dust mite allergies. This made me realize I'm probably literally sleeping better after a shower because it helps me breathe better through the night. What a eureka moment! Night showers unite. I started at a young age and is so ingrained that going to bed without a shower feels gross to me now. Also agree that sleeping in clean sheets after a shower is nearly euphoric. Going back to the allergy thing, I also get terrible seasonal allergies, but I can't confirm or deny how much showering before bed helps. From the amazing book The Gift of Fear by Gavin D. Becker, a woman alone who needs assistance is actually far better off choosing someone and asking for help, as opposed to waiting for an unsolicited approach. The person you choose is nowhere near as likely to bring you hazard as is the person who chooses you. I use a generalized version of this. If you pick a random person, they are probably trustworthy. If a random person picks you, be somewhat suspicious. A con artist trick is to set up a situation where the victim thinks they're selecting a trustworthy stranger, but the con artist is really filtering for victims. For instance, a nicely dressed person struggling with luggage by the side of the road. If you offer help, be on your guard. Yup, had to go to pay a parking ticket. They only took check by mail or cash in person. The office to pay is right next to social services. I was waiting for the bus and a lady with a disability came from the social services office and said she needed help as they had lost her check and she couldn't pay her phone bills. She asked to borrow my phone to call her mom for money. She seemed fairly normal besides her physical disability and her story seemed pretty legit, so I was about to give her my phone when I saw out of the corner of my eye a guy standing right behind me ready to pounce. I turned to him, and the second I turned he took off running, and she limped away. I was so mad I went to go into the social services building to see if I could get the lady's name, but it was closed. Later that day there was a news report about a couple pulling off a phone stealing scam where someone would ask to borrow your phone and another would run up and steal it from them. Pretty good scam too. You wouldn't think this lady could steal your phone because she can't physically run away fast enough or stop you from taking it back. You also couldn't blame her for getting it stolen for the same reason. Counting really slowly with the goal of reaching 150 is a decent way to fall asleep. If you have any thoughts during it, just let them play out, and if you forget what number you're on, just go from what you last remember. If you make any major movements, just start again. The goal is to force your brain into slowing down and not having any jerky motions or thoughts, and eventually reaching such a level of carelessness that you eventually fall asleep without realizing. Helped me quite a few times, especially with rain sounds. Hope it helps some of you too. I try to count backwards from 200. I'm usually out before I reach 100. It gives my brain something to do while my body calms down, but it's boring enough that it makes my mind wander, so eventually I stop counting and fall asleep. Oh my god, I wish. Imagine falling asleep within minutes. It's not all the nirvana you might think it is. I fall asleep when my head hits the pillow. At times when my wife is talking to me, I stay up on an elbow just to listen to her, because if my head is rested, I'm out. Yes, this happens at the dentist too at times, and he finds it a nuisance, lol. But if my sleep breaks for whatever reason, small noise, wife going to the bathroom, or even poking me with an elbow, and I'm awake even 1%, I become fully alert and unable to fall asleep again. This happens even after I've got 3 hours of sleep, leading to a day of fatigue. You can do the Heimlich maneuver on yourself. Use a chair or countertop, Press yourself against it, right under your ribcage, and press down hard. Should force air up and dislodge a blockage. True facts. I'm CPR/EAD certified, and in our classes we were taught this. Our instructor actually said to just drop yourself on the chair rather than press, as the extra force from gravity can be helpful, and any injury you might sustain will be better than choking to death, can confirm. Had to do this after I already dialed 911 on my cell phone while living alone and choking on a cashew. It worked. I was then able to tell the dispatch what was happening, and they sent an ambulance to check on me anyway. Haven't touched a cashew since. If you start to cough while eating or drinking, essentially the went down the wrong pipe, immediately lift both your arms up in the air and keep them held up for a few seconds. The act opens your airways and will allow you to catch your breath. Also helps food or drink travel downward. My mill taught us this, and it's now second nature. Reddit changed choke to cough. The Heimlich maneuver should be used if someone has food stuck. My gran used to yell, "Put your arms up," when one of us did that. I never knew why. Or this tip makes me happy. Miss my gran. My family always says reach for the sky or you'll die. If any one of my family would start choking, my dad would always say touchdown and raise his arms and look at them expectantly. If you've got a splinter below your skin surface, wrap a banana peel around it. Wet side against your skin. It will draw the splinter out most of the time. I don't know how, but it frickin' works. Banana voodoo. Banavadoo. Banadoo. Edit, spelling corrected, not sure how that slipped by me. Get it? Oh my good lord, these comments lol. And now silver awards. WTF people. Inside of a banana peel against a bug bite, mosquitoes, and ants, at least, can help relieve the itching and pain like magic. I too ascribe to the banana voodoo. When I was a kid, I used to wet a washcloth in super hot water from the tap when I was taking a bath and drip a few drops of it on my mosquito bites. It stung for a second, then they never itched again. I believe it. Hot water can also work temporary miracles on poison ivy. I got it particularly bad this past summer with poison ivy, chest, stomach, thighs, arms. I'd argue the feeling of stepping into an incredibly hot shower was actually better than it works. Not forever, but it works. I hesitantly submit squeegeeing yourself off before getting out of the shower. It's so simple, I was dubious, but just use your hands to quickly wipe off excess water and bingo, you're not cold getting out. I do this every time. Also, it allows your towel to actually dry you off without becoming a wet rag. I do this every time. Also, it allows your towel to actually dry you off without becoming a wet rag. Conversely, I had a roommate who did not squeegee at all and instead stepped directly out of the shower without grabbing a towel first. Could always tell who showered last because of the big puddle on the shower mat. Oh my god, this is so annoying. I have always been the wring my hair out and squeegee myself off, then even take the towel into the shower and dry myself off completely before stepping out kind of guy, and my roommate seems to dry herself off fairly well without making any puddles. Then she got a boyfriend. I like the guy, don't get me wrong, but whenever he visits, the bathroom floor is just wet. I can't use the toilet without getting my feet wet when he's over, and it's one of those small things that's just annoying. Use a wet knife to chop onions. It reduces tears if you have sensitive eyes. It really works. I could barely make it through chopping half an onion without needing multiple breaks before I tried this. Saw it on Life Pro Tips. Just keep the faucet running and dip your knife under periodically while chopping. I still get a little reaction, but nowhere near as bad. There are several things you can do here. Onion tears are from the chemicals released by damage. Cutting onions underwater would work. You may find, if you wear glasses, that taking them off works too. Definitely don't let any hands near your face. But the thing I found most helpful is having a wicked sharp knife. The sharper the knife, the less crushing damage is done to the cells when cutting. The less crushing, the fewer tears. This is the end of the video. Thank you guys for staying with me till the end. If you enjoyed watching this, you might as well watch these too.